Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the new Kilowattrel in the GO Battle League. And this Pokemon just got released overnight for me, so like this is the earliest way I can really showcase it. But yeah, today we're gonna take a look at this Pokemon in the Retro Cup. This is going to be an interesting Pokemon, and there is one thing that really bothers me with this thing, which we have to talk a little bit about. But you see on the right side as well, I don't have the ideal moveset. The reason for this, I actually don't have any charge TMs. Like, I really don't have any charge TMs. I really can't wait to get eventually to another regional tournament. If you didn't know, if you go to regional tournaments currently for Pokemon GO, you actually have the opportunity there to get a ton of charge TMs and fast TMs from spinning stops. I will absolutely do that as soon as I'm going to be able to get back to a regional tournament. But honestly, I have exactly 0 charge TMs currently in my storage, so I had to go with kind of what I got here. And it's like that thing as well, there are benefits for both of the movesets. Basically, what is the moveset of Kilowattrel generally? You're going to have access to fast moves or Thunder Shock as well as Air Slash. And charge moves, ideally you want to have Aerial Ace and Acrobatics, just for pacing reasons, as Aerial Ace is going to be reached after just 5 Thunder Shocks, which is kind of nice, while you will take basically for both of the other moves 7, which is a big difference. So yes, generally I would say that it would have helped me out in a few of those matchups as well, to not have basically the Aerial Ace over the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is kind of what you want to give up, because Acrobatics is just such a strong move, but yeah, I can't really change it, and we're going to be able to one-shot here something though with our Kilowattrel in the first battle already, which kind of showcases on what this Pokemon is all about. It's all about attack. We're going to have here a Pokemon with a ton of attack. It is very close to like what Morpeko has in terms of the attack stat. It is super attack rated. But yeah, with Thunder Shock it has a fast move that actually is quite solid. It's going to allow you to generate quite a bit of energy, and then with Acrobatics you have a nice stab. You would like to have something better than Aerial Ace generally in the future, in order to make Kilowattrel actually an interesting Pokemon, because this is the thing as well, there have been so many electric and flying type Pokemon. It is kind of mad. Like, you have literally Zapdos, you have Emolga, I think you have most likely even a few more than that. Of course you have like the legendary Pokemon like Thundurus there. Yeah, but generally speaking, there are quite a lot of electric and flying type Pokemon, and here, I'm always honest in you, for the videos here as well, they're just better ones. Like, both Emolga as well as Zapdos have more going for it compared to Kilowattrel. But the thing is here for this Pokemon itself, which I find kind of sad, there are multiple things. Because you could have actually a better fast move as well than Thunder Shock. This is the thing that really is the one I kind of want to talk about here as well, is that the pre-evolution Wattrel actually is going to learn Peck as a fast move. Why did they not keep it for the evolution? Because I'm fairly certain that Peck would have been even a cooler move. But in order for Peck to be actually very solid, you need at least another charge move that is 35 or 40 energy in order to make sense, because otherwise you're just way too slow with it. And then you would need to add like a completely new move. I always kind of want to have dual wing beat as a new charge move in the game. We haven't had this anytime like recently or whatever, like a new charge move generally. But I feel like dual wing beat is like the one move that I would currently like to see the most as a new move, like as a cheap flying type charge move, like 35 energy, 50 damage or something like this. Just to have it on like Pokemon like the Kilowattrel in order to make them a bit faster. That would be absolutely fantastic. Otherwise, it would learn Air Cutter, which is an interesting move as well, which you've seen already before. It would learn Fly, which is not as ideal. It doesn't learn Drill Peck or anything like this. So yeah, Feather Dance would learn as well, which is only currently locked to Pidgeot. Itself, like this Pokemon, it doesn't have a lot going for it. Like, truth be told, if you want to have an Acrobatics user, you're very likely rather going to go for a Emolga. And if you want to have something that has a little bit more electric type damage, like with Thunderbolt, you rather would like to go for the Zapdos, because Zapdos has Drill Peck. And that is kind of end of the story. But this does not mean that we cannot enjoy some cool gameplay with this Pokemon here today, because I actually love cool, interesting battles. Here, if I actually had the Aerial Ace, I would have put the opponent now into a range where I either knock them out straight away or put them easily into farm down range for our Gyarados, which would have won me ultimately the game, I think. That would have definitely won me this game here for sure. As the Orco is coming through, we're going to be able to get the KO, and in comes the Auroras, but can we still win? This is a super effective stab move from a Shadow Gyarados, and they survive with 1 HP, and yeah, that is kind of unfortunate. So, moving on, we're going to take a look here now at the matchup against the Golisopod. We have a resistance here for the charge moveset of this Pokemon, also here in this case the fast move in the Gyarados, even though it doesn't really look like that much of a resistance. We're going to get out the opponent's Licky Licky, which is going to be alright for us. The opponent's going to be able to go ahead and get some damage in against us with the fast moves that they have. But yeah, as you will see, we have to let the move go. I'm alright with that. I have some energy still on my Auroras. I will be able to utilize my Auroras here as well in order to even get some more energy. But let's see on how things going to go here. They go for the Body Slam, which is a resisted hit anyway, and I can just go ahead, go for the Weather Ball, keep some energy for later on, keep some energy for the Golisopod. But again, if I would have had here the Aerial Ace, I would have been also in a better position against a Pokemon like this, because you don't actually need the extra damage output from the Kilowattrel, from the Thunderbolt. But here against the Altaria, I definitely need to hit 2 Acrobatics in order to knock it out. So this battle is far from over yet, but actually, here, if I would have had the Aerial Ace as well, I would have been in a better spot. Like, this is the thing. Like, Aerial Ace definitely would change this Pokemon up a tiny bit for sure. Like, here, I would have been... I mean, I'm able to farm them down anyways. Like, it's actually not over by any means. I can go for the Acrobatics here, which would knock them out as well if we're gonna land it, and we can land it. So, Kilowattrel actually is doing not that bad. But again, like, I feel like Kilowattrel isn't a Pokemon that's specifically, like, horrific by any means. Like, you have some stuff that's going for you. I just feel like there are just other Pokemon that have the exact same type and very similar movesets that just do better. Like, literally, if you compare Kilowattrel to the Emolga, Kilowattrel is going to have basically the exact same moveset, I think, than Emolga. Emolga is running Discharge usually over Aerial Ace, but it actually has the exact same moveset as the Emolga. Emolga just has better stats, like has a little bit more bulk towards it, and has then the opportunity to go for Discharge, which is even cheaper than the Aerial Ace. And so Emolga is just a straight up better version of this Pokemon. Like, that is just what you can say. And then again, if you would want to go for the Zapdos, Zapdos is actually, as a Shadow version, even more attack rated, which is kind of cool. As a non-Shadow, it's a little bit more bulky, but then you have a better damage output with this Pokemon as well. So in theory, Kilowattrel really doesn't have anything going for it. Like, it really doesn't have anything going for it, other than it being a new Pokemon. But it has potential for the future if they just update this Pokemon a little bit to make it just a little bit more unique compared to the other one. That's why I would have liked to see something like Air Cutter being added on this thing, which would have been a 35 energy move that would have been allowing you to boost your own attack to like a 30% chance, which would have been amazing, because then you all of a sudden have a very great catch from the opponent. I thought that the opponent's Charge Back had energy though, that's why I was like, I need to go for the charge move no matter what, but I think that maybe will one Volt Switch away. But yeah, basically I feel like Kilowattrel needs kind of something to set it apart from the rest of the flying and electric type Pokemon. But still, like, my goal for this channel is I always kind of want to showcase every single new Pokemon in the Go Battle League. I want to build them all. That's my goal generally. I want to have every single Pokemon built for the Go Battle League. And eventually I will get there. Like, eventually, like, every Pokemon that is possible to be run in this, I will try to build eventually. At least if they make sense as well. Like, there are some Pokemon that don't make sense to build at all. But, for example, Bonsly, by the way. Bonsly is a cool Pokemon. I think Bonsly is a fun Pokemon to run, but, like, it's literally just Sudowoodo for way more expensive. Like, it's the exact same moveset, it's the exact same stats, it's the exact same typing, just for being fully XL compared to a non-XL Pokemon. There's no difference otherwise, so there's no point of building a Bonsly. Anyway, getting back to the battles here, we're going to have the Annihilate against us here, which is actually alright for our backline here. I'm going to be able to knock them out as well with the Gyarados. Gyarados, by the way, has been really, really solid for me. I think Gyarados was a fantastic pick for this meta, as well as Auroras. Like, here, for example, in this battle, like, Kilowattrel didn't even see the playing field, but we still were able to win here just because the other two Pokemon were carrying us hard. But I'm not too sure if this is going to work out as well against a Macago, which has the Rock-type coverage, which is super effective against our entire team, actually. We have our lead, which is weak, and we have our backline, which is weak, as we have an Ice-type and 2 Flying-type Pokemon. So we are going to be forced to use a Shield here, but at least we have a matchup here that we should be generally able to win. But it's about into the Hypno, which now can take some crunches a little bit better, as I debuffed our attack a little bit earlier, so like that's not as ideal for us now, that they just can take it a little bit easier against us, and we're gonna be able to let the move go. Again, here as well, I would have rather seen either Peck or the Volt Switch on our Kilowattrel, because it could have been already farmed on range for set fast moves, but because we don't have that, we are kind of forced to keep that in the back, and I don't really like this. I really don't like this about the Kilowattrel. I feel like it needs a little bit more versatility in order to really being able to shine, and I hope that they add this in the future, because it is possible to make this Pokemon interesting, to make this Pokemon great. Something that, by the way, a lot of people are running this Pokemon in the main series games in a weather team, like with a rainy weather. And then you would have also the option here to go for a Weather Ball on this Pokemon, which would be also a cool thing to have. But yeah, again, we don't know on what their plan is kind of with this Pokemon here. We're going to have here the Charge coming through against Cresselia. Cresselia, by the way, a Pokemon I would really like to showcase for this meta as well, because I think it's absolutely broken. But as we see here, we're going to be able to knock them out, but in comes the Macargon, they can farm us down. Alright, Como against us, great Pokemon. By the way, if you haven't seen my showcase for Como, I did upload one video towards it yesterday. There's going to be, by the way, a video coming out very soon on this channel as well towards the new Shadow event, which just got announced yesterday. Where we have a lot of interesting things, by the way, coming up. The next Shadow event is going to be very interesting. There's my favorite Pokemon coming in as well into it, so I'm definitely going to try to grind this event as much as I can, because, like, honestly, yeah, we get Shadow Greninja. I will showcase on how overpowered this Pokemon is and how good this Pokemon is generally. But as you guys see as well, we're going to have here now the Oranguru against us. If this would have been now basically also the option to just to farm down would have been absolutely fantastic. Like, this would have been so good for us. But as you see here, the Weather Ball's coming in, is going to knock them out. In comes Cresselia again, and Cresselia in this position. Like, this is the thing as well, Cresselia is like so much stronger this season now. Confusion buff on this Pokemon changed it quite a bit. And especially in a meta here where Dark and Steel types are gone, Cresselia is so much better. Like, Cresselia is such a strong Pokemon in this meta. It's one of those Pokemon that benefits definitely the most from the season changes. And this just general meta. So, next up, we're going to have the Regidrago against us, and we have the Corsair coming in. This is going to be fine. We're going to try our best to go for the Weather Ball here as well, but we have to be a bit mindful. In this battle, this actually was one of my favorite battles of this entire video. We are kind of forced to keep our Weather Ball stored for later on, but I cannot still want to play this matchup out, because Corsair itself is a Pokemon that I kind of don't want to have against my backline. So, Meteor Beam is coming in, we're gonna get the shield from the opponent, and we have now the attack boost, which is generally great. Like, this is something that I generally enjoy quite a bit. But as you see here, we are gonna try our best to go for another Weather Ball. They swap out into the Arachnid. This seems to be quite bad, just generally, but it's actually not that bad for us now, because what we have here is we have the option to go for the Acrobatics now against them with our Kilowattrel. And finally, we're actually going to be able to go for the Acrobatics here, get some extra energy prior, and honestly, we are in a really good position. Like, this is absolutely fantastic. We're gonna get the knockout against the opponent, and let's see what's coming in next. It is going to be the Corsair. We can take the hit, that is totally fine for us as well, as now this is going to be the Nightshade. We have still our Auroras with the Charge move stored for later on, and we have now our Gyarados. I will utilize the Gyarados to get a little bit of damage in here first, and now swap out into the Auroras, go for the Weather Ball, get the KO here. This should be enough. It's stab, it's super effective, it is Shadow bonus, it is boosted recently, and it's going to be enough here, and the opponent decided to forfeit. And this is already going to be it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye bye.